Where is the weirdest or most inappropriate place you have had an orgasm? A funeral home. I used to hook up with a young lady who worked for one of those cleaning companies that go into banks, offices, libraries, etc. after hours and clean up, and one night, she was sent to clean up at a funeral home that was near my home. Since she was by herself and felt a little creeped out even though there were no bodies there while she was working, she called me and I went over to hang out with her. Before the job was over, I had her bent over a display casket. I am going to hell for this and I know it, but it was awesome. During dinner at a restaurant with my husband's family, I started taking a new medication for anxiety and it affected my sex drive in a strange way. I suddenly had no control over it and felt incredibly turned on. It was so weird. I told my husband and he was laughing. Not sure if anyone knew, but I was really embarrassed. Happened on a prom night. My girlfriend was riding me in the back seat of a friend's car with a friend and her date in the front seat. When asked if we were having sex, my girlfriend said she was just dancing to the music. We eventually got out of the car and finished on the edge of a cliff overlooking an ocean. The sky was completely clear and the view was amazing. Blowjob in a cemetery next to a busy parkway. Monica Lewinsky all over her shirt. Afterwards she went home to her parents' house and when they asked about the stains she told them it was fettuccine alfredo sauce from dinner. We still laugh about that to this day. Monica Lewinsky all over her shirt. Would not that rather be Bill Clintoning all over her shirt? No. He took the shirt and kept it in a dry cleaning bag for proof to back up future court testimony and autobiography. When I was 14 or so, my girlfriend at the time gave me a blowjob in the back of our family SUV going down the road with my mom, dad, and elderly grandmother sitting not 5 feet in front of us. At some point I had to stop her because a car got behind us and the headlights were shining through and the shadow of her head bobbing up and down was on the front dash. My 85-year-old grandmother said shortly thereafter, "I hate being on the road on nights like this. Makes you think you see things that are not there." I always wonder if old Mama Hazel knew what was up. Deployed supervising 300 foreign workers on a job site. I was having sex with my supervisor, a very attractive redhead, every chance I had. Her and I were in this little shack with an AC in the window and we had 360 view out all sides of the shack so that we could monitor the workers and radio out whatever was needed. I remember having sex and literally watching the workers to make sure none of them looked over at our shack. That was a different feeling, kind of boring, but back alley behind a CVS. Was going away on a year-long trip to a foreign country. Got to talking on the way to depart and the girl I was with decided she was gonna give me a proper goodbye. So we stop at a CVS, slip around back, and try to have sex as quietly as possible behind a dumpster as people walk by not 15 feet away. In hindsight, we probably should have stopped inside to buy a pack of condoms first, but I was young and stupid. Luckily nothing came of it, and by God it was probably the best sex I have had in my life just because of the fact that it was a surprise she was willing to do it, and the thrill of potentially getting caught. It really was the perfect farewell gift. I thought about her a lot while I was away. When I was a little girl I used to masturbate in school daily. Had no idea what I was doing, of course. I could just kind move my legs in a certain way and it would happen. I was at a family Christmas party, and my family likes to have those in poolside hotel rooms so the kids in the family can swim and we do not have to clean a house. Once I was done swimming for the night, I took a quick shower to get the chlorine off of me, and my teenager hormones kicked in and I fapped. Did that while everyone else was sitting around a table and chatting. I think they were searching for me at one point. My ex's access house. My ex was still completely head over heels for his ex, so when he invited me over to hang out with him and his ex, I decided I did jizz on his bathroom wall and leave. I left the guy I was with the next day and still have no clue what became of that cum stain. My sophomore year of college, I was dating a local girl, a high school senior. I was 19, she was 17. Before you think me a pervert, she lived at home with her parents who lived back in the woods, sort of out in the countryside. I did often go over to have dinner or watch a movie or come and go for dates with a girl. One night, I did been invited for dinner and then we watched some TV. After a bit, her mom said, "Okay, time for lane 13 to go. You have homework to do." It was a school night, so the girlfriend walked me to my car, which was parked out on the road in front of their house. Being that this was out in the backwoods, there wasn't any neighbors around for about a mile, and not much traffic, so as young teens do, we started kissing goodnight, and that led to hands groping, and that led to pants going down. So within minutes I was doing the girlfriend, standing from behind just on the other side of my car opposite the house. After a minute or two, her mom comes outside. We had been out there a while, to say, "Come on in, you have homework to do." Girlfriend, who was bent over and taking it, without missing a beat, stands up, still keeping in rhythm. "Okay mom, be right in." Mom turns around to walk back in, stops and says, "Good night lane 13, I muster out a good night." Just as I finish, and we laughed and laughed that her mom was never the wiser, that she basically just caught us talking in front of her house. When I was about 16, my mom dragged me along to a meeting for her pyramid scheme. It works, and it was at a church. I was the only male there, also the only one under 30 years old. I sat one row back from the last person in the crowd. I don't know why, but I just whipped it out and went at it. Any of the women could have turned around at any time, but I got away with it. A treadmill at the gym, throwaway account for obvious reasons. I was going through a rough period in my life and was hitting the gym pretty ducking hard because I was strung out on Jack 3D. I was bench pressing like 240 pounds and simultaneously running a 15-minute 5K. Anyways, I was having a bad day, so I decided to really punish my body and some poor treadmill that day by running as hard as I could for as long as I could. 4 45-minute miles on the treadmill, and it was rough. I finished 3 miles at that pace and decided, duck it, we were gonna go at 4 30-minute pace. I am basically sprinting at this point and trying to relax every muscle in my body. I've zoned everything out and am completely in the zone, and then it happens. I came in my pants at the gym while running on the treadmill. Thank God nobody noticed, otherwise I would have hung myself on the lot machine in the corner. I immediately jumped off the treadmill, wiped it down, and then went home. Apparently my legs were hitting my balls, prostate and taint in just the right pattern, and I was zoned out so perfectly that I came. I don't think that's the running high everyone talks about, but it felt pretty good. At a wedding, I was joking with my GF about going to bathroom together. I kept teasing her. When she accepted, I was really surprised. Nowhere. Never had an orgasm. I am 24. That's the weirdest one right there. Girlfriend dared me to wank while driving, egging me on with fake moans and shit. Mama ain't raised no bitch, so I accepted. Feels good, man. At a full theater showing of Clerks 2. After splitting up for a bit, my ex-boyfriend would push my boundaries and see how far he could go with me. I was wearing a mini skirt. He teased me for the first hour, then finger blasted me to high heaven, and I was not quiet. I am sure people saw. I kept turning towards him, but he would make me sit properly and I wasn't allowed to touch him. Torture orgasm. Good movie, by the way. Edit. There was something about laughing and being touched while people were around that felt so good. At my GF, now wife's family pool, visiting another country with her. We were 18 and 19, staying with her aunt and 4 female cousins. My GF and I were in the pool while her cousins laid out in the sun to tan. My GF went close to the edge to join into the conversation with her cousins. I came behind her like we were hugging and slid in. Slow thrusts for a while until her cousin with the big tits sat up, and then, no one knows, I don't think, we are really good at ducking quietly with people near us. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.